If your knees feel like they need some WD-40, this is the perfect video for you. I'm going to show you exactly how to make the knees feel better, more rejuvenated, and younger. If your knees are feeling old, it's probably because of two things. One, inflammation, and two, hydration. Now, inflammation, let's just get that out of the way really quickly, and the rest of the video is gonna be about hydration. But inflammation is basically going to be your body fighting some sort of things internally, and usually that has to do with your diet, right? So inflammation, you need to eat better, right? So your body doesn't have inflammation inside of it, and that will help subside some of the knee pain. Now, the rest of the video is going to be about hydration, but I wanted to make sure that I let you know that inflammation is a big part. We're just not gonna go over that in this video because I don't wanna make it too long. But hydration is the second part. And no, I'm not talking about just drinking more water. Drinking water is going to help, but we have to realize that every single cell inside of our body, every single muscle cell, every single tendon, ligament, cartilage, right? All of those things are built up off of water. So if you don't have water in your body, if you don't have the proper amounts, if you don't have the water in the proper places in your body is going to feel cranky and off. Specifically, we're talking about the knees. They're going to feel off. Why? Because your knees are a joint that's in between two major joints. Major joint number one is your hips. Major joint number two is your ankles. Your knees really can only do this, right? They can only, that's it. Your knees can really only do that. So there are also no knee specific muscles, right? So there's no one muscle that's, oh, that's my knee muscle. No, all of the muscles that are going to attach to the knee are either going to come from somewhere around the ankle and come up, or they're going to start somewhere around the hip and then come down. So those muscles, tendons, ligaments need to be looked after and need to be cared for in order to have knees that don't feel cranky, stiff, and like you need WD-40 on them. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to give you a simple routine that you can go over that I would suggest you do more often than you don't. So this probably means that you want to do it every other day or maybe every day so that you don't have cranky, stiff, achy knees. I personally use some of these methods every single day. Not all of them because I'm working on my whole entire body, but if you are really having some cranky, stiff knees, like you really feel like they need a little bit of lubrication, a little WD-40, this is going to be the perfect thing for you. So just follow along. So without further ado, let's get into the routine. All right, so what we're gonna do first is release, right? So when we're releasing, this is a big part of the hydration I was talking about, all right? We're getting into the position and then I will explain what exactly is going on. I'm gonna explain these apparatuses real quick to you and then how we kind of systematically go throughout it. All right, so first we're going to roll out the feet, okay? So for this, what I like to do is use some sort of lacrosse ball, or this is a sand ball, but if you don't have either one of those, perfectly fine. I have a rolled up towel option here. Very simple, okay? What we're going to do is press on the foot and find that area of tension and sit there. What we'll do here is we'll go for about 90 seconds. I'm pushing my foot into the towel, so this means I'm putting my weight onto the towel, right? I'm not only trying to get just my foot this way, I'm slightly leaning towards the outside, I'm slightly leaning forward, and I'm seeing what area is the tightest, is the most tender. For me, it is directly underneath my big toe, in between my big toe and my second toe, right? And I've done this so long that I know that's where it is. I've had so many issues with that area, right? So I'm just giving myself pressure and taking it away. And the reason why we're going to the feet is because if my foot is doing something weird, my knee is going to have to do the same thing or twist in the opposite direction to compensate for it. So your feet are your foundation. If there's something wrong or off with your feet, meaning like the alignment of your feet is not optimal for the things that you're doing, then what's going to happen is it's going to travel up the chain. So it'll go from the feet to the ankle to the knee to the hip to the spine to the shoulder, right? So we want to stop that and try to correct a lot of things by just realigning the feet. We got about 15 more seconds here, right? You could also use a ball just like this. Boom, nice and simple. You can kind of choose your tenderness, right? If the area is really, really tender, it's gonna feel bad, like really bad to do it. And when you do this stuff, you want to make sure you can breathe while you're doing it. So that's the gauge of how hard you're going. If you find a spot and you're like, and you can't like find a way to calm down your breathing, you need to back off the pressure, right? Simple. Let's go to the other side, all right? So same deal, right? We're gonna get this side. Now, this is very important for the knees, again, because it helps with your foot alignment. If my foot is constantly out towards the side like that, right, this one, then I have to compensate somehow, because my body isn't gonna like walking like this, right? So the compensation might not come from my knee, it might come from my hip, or it might come from my spine correcting itself in order to feel safe, right? You're gonna have the compensations so that you feel safe. And in this case, safety is going to mean being able to walk, run easily without having to think about it too much. If I'm thinking about doing all of this, the movements that I wanna do too much, your body's gonna be like, hey, this is expensive, meaning that you're taking too much brain power, you're taking too much mental bandwidth, you're taking up too much physical and nervous system energy just to do something efficient. So your body is going to make a compensation pattern where it doesn't take much at all. You don't even notice that you're making the compensation. That's how little that's how subtle the changes are to you, right? To the outside person, they can see that, but it's like, you know, you're slowly compensating for everything your body's doing. But if you're standing up, the one true thing that you're always going to have as your foundation is your feet. So if your feet are very tight and bound up, then this is going to dictate what your knees are going to do, how much they'll need to compensate, because that's just the next chain up, right? Your foot and your ankle are gonna do something, and then your knee will have to follow. So there we go, nice and simple. We got both of the bottoms of the feet, and you may even notice that this starts to loosen up the calves, loosen up the shins, and you can just test the knees out a little bit, see how they feel there, you know, go into a lunge pattern or something, just see how it feels periodically. All right, the next one that we're going to do is we're going to get the quad and the IT band for the sake of this video, so it's not too long. I'm just going to give one side, and then then you can pause it or just rewind it and get the other side, right? So let's do that. So I'm here, I'm going to find the top of my hip. So I find the top of my hip bone, and the ball is going to go just below that. Again, you can use a ball, you can use a rolled up towel, right? So very simple. You can use a foam roller, right? You can even use a yoga block if you have one. I like the sand ball the best, right? Because I can get a good amount of pressure on there, right? So I'm here, and all I'm doing here is I'm searching for the right spot, and I'll know when I hit it because my whole body is like, ooh, okay, right? So for me, this actually isn't too bad. I'm gonna go further down. Okay, here I feel a spot. All I'm gonna do here is lean on it. That's it. I'm just going to lean into this position. Then after a couple seconds, we're gonna floss a little bit. So we're here, and I'm just coming up and down. So now this is a big part of hydrating, right? Because now we're pushing the water where it needs to go. Your fascia needs to be hydrated, the muscles need to be hydrated, the tendons, the ligaments, everything needs to be hydrated. So this is just a simple way of doing that, especially in this quad muscle that's going to attach to the top of your knee, right? If this muscle is tight, if the fascia around this area is tight, you are going to have a pulling regardless whatever you do, right? So this now I just moved it to another spot, but you can keep it there. You can use a foam roller again. You can use a rolled up towel. You can use a lacrosse ball, or even a yoga block. These are all tools that I use depending on, you know, what area it is. And yeah, so this ball right here though, I use that for everything. I use it from my feet all the way up to my neck. So I really do like this ball. It's a sand hand therapy ball. I have a 6-pound one, but I have other sizes too, like a 4-pound one, and it feels the same, so the poundage doesn't really matter. All right, boom. Okay, so that was nice and simple. We got that one. Again, in order to get the other side, you just want to pause the video and just start over on the other side. Same kind of deal, flossing through. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go to the IT band area. So that is the side of your leg. So again, you'd have your foam roller, you'd have a yoga block, a towel, something like that. I'm going to demonstrate this one with the yoga block, because this is the one I like the most for this, right? And even sometimes I'll go like this, put this here, but for this specific one, we're gonna go here, right? I'm here, I got the legs on top of here. And this is a very sensitive area, so you can choose to roll back to get a little pressure off, and then when you roll forward, you get more pressure on the spot, right? So you kind of pick your area. Again, make sure you can get to a point where you can breathe, right? So now I'm just letting myself sink into this, and I'm not trying to rip my leg off, right? So the tissue is stuck in there, and it's not gonna leave if my nervous system feels threatened while I'm trying to make it go, right? So if I'm giving too much pressure and I'm grimacing like this and breathing like that, your body's gonna think this is a threat. So when you're in this position, there will be no relaxing. So here, you can actually stack the knees on top, stagger them like this. Like, you can move wherever you have to in order to make sure that your body feels safe enough to start to release and let go. Like right now, I had to even think about that because I'm in a spot that really hurts, right? But I'm kind of moving around a little bit, controlling my breath, seeing like, hey, do I need more pressure or do I need less, or this is good enough, right? We got about 15 more seconds. And again, these are areas where you may have congestion. Congestion looks like extra fluid buildup, right? Dehydrated fascia, that basically means that the fascia is supposed to slide and glide through your body like this, and it's tissue that connects your entire body together, right? So if that, I'm not gonna explain, and we can rest for a second. I'm not going to explain everything about fascia. If you work with it and you get some results, that's good enough. If you want to dive deeper, you can look at some of the things I've said on this. But basically, the fascia in your body connects to everything. So if the fascia gets dehydrated, meaning it doesn't have the proper water in there, meaning sometimes you can push the water into it, or you actually need to hydrate better, right? With the foods that you eat and the drinks that you drink and minerals that you have in your body, right? So those are ways to hydrate, and what we're showing you here is how to push the water into the areas and also remove some excess water, junk, garbage, and clear that out, right? So that's what we're doing here. So we hit those 3 spots, right? We hit the bottom of the foot, we hit the quad, and then we hit the IT band. Now, what we're gonna do is, again, just test the knees real quick. Just come up and down, in and out of a squat, like should feel a little less tender, if not a lot less tender, right? So now what we want to do is open them up, okay? So these joints, meaning the hip joint, the knee joint, and the ankle joint, they all can do a little bit of rotation. The hips and the ankles can do a lot of rotation, but the knees can do a little bit. So what we're gonna do is bring that through a range of motion so that your nervous system can get reacclimated to that it even has that ability to move in that direction, but also will end up adding like a little bit of strength to some of these movements at the end so that your body starts to
get those movement patterns better so that it braces better. Normally you have some sort of pain because your body doesn't know how to handle the task that you're giving it. And that task may be easy and something that you've done a long time ago or constantly do, and all of a sudden, like, things are cranky. It's just that you have a lot of junk and garbage to clear out, and you have some nervous system explaining to do, right? What we're doing here in the movements is we are programming your body to realize, like, hey, this is safe. That's all. Like if you want to even repeat that while you do that, hey, this is safe. Hey, this is safe. This is safe for me. Your body often will lock down and have a lot of pain because it doesn't feel safe doing something. It doesn't feel like you may not get injured or something like that, or it doesn't feel safe as in stable, right? So it'll lock up everything because it doesn't feel stable. And usually instability is going to come from some part of your body like kind of shrivel up and dying more or less, and that part can't support the whole anymore. So you have all of these like little jagged holes in your fascia and in your muscles that aren't communicating well with everything else, and this is throwing your body off. So what we're going to do here is rotations now, right? So we're going to start off from the ankles, right? And we're here, and we're just going to go some ankle rotations. I'm going to set a timer here. Nice and simple. Now the goal on this one, very easy to do, right? The goal on this one is just big circles, right? Just big circles, and notice where your ankle feels like it feels safe to move, because some angles, like maybe if you come really far in or up or around, some angles might not feel safe. Doesn't mean it has to happen to you, but just pay attention to that, right? And we'll go the other way. And notice how well you're able to balance on the foot that's on the ground, right? This is also a part of it, getting you on one leg in one stance. This starts to change how your foot is even looking, communicating with the ground. So we'll go the other side, right? So we also, in all of these, are adding a little bit of balance stuff to make sure that your body is functioning properly. And all of this stuff is really an assessment for you, right? Like for me right now, my other leg felt rock solid on the ground. This, I feel solid, but I can feel my body constantly moving and shaking around, right? There we go. And I switch over again. I'm here now. Switch. There we go. Next one, we're gonna move to the knees, all right? I'm gonna have the knees together, ankles together if you can, and we're going in a big circle. 6. Try to keep your feet on the ground. Another way. You may notice all types of cracks and pops and readjustments in the knees and the hips and the back and the ankles and the feet. There we go, nice and simple. Next one, we're gonna go out wide here, and we're gonna go in a circle. So I'm here. Now I'm trying to get my hips to go as far back as I can and then come forward. You don't have to come far forward, but we wanna really get that stretch in the back hip capsule and avoid overextending at the top, right? So don't go into a super back arch like this at the top. When you come up, you're relatively still, right? I'm coming up around like this. We'll go 10 more seconds, then we'll switch directions. We'll go the other way. Boom.
There we go. Nice and simple. Now we're gonna go for isometric, right? So that means we're just putting the body in a position and forcing the body to just stay there. All right, we're gonna do 40 seconds. We'll do 30 seconds just for the sake of this video, but I like to do a minute in these things, even up to like 3 minutes. So this is just somewhere to start, right? We're gonna go into a horse stance. So we're here, we're dropping down, right? Try to get about 90 degrees, push the knees back, and we're holding here. All right, this is a very easy stance, right, to hold, but what this shows you is where the weak link is. Some people's quads are burning, some people's hamstrings are burning, some people's glutes are burning, some people's growing muscles are burning, right? This kind isometrics show you where you break down first, right? So what we're doing is retraining all of that stuff. We're retraining your body to be able to handle and manage stress and load. Right, so I'm here now, we're in like 30 seconds, right? I'll cut it off there, but I usually do like 3 minutes. And the whole point is to get you to some point where you're shaking a little bit, right? Because that means that now your body is starting to make some sort of changes. Almost fell backwards there. So the next one, we're gonna go into a couple of stretches, all right? So with these stretches, we wanna be dynamic. So that means that we're just moving through the stretches. We're not attempting to hold anything. All right, so we got the knee down, and for this one, I'm gonna have my toes tucked underneath. All right, left knee down, toes are tucked underneath. Here, I'm going to be reaching up and pushing my hips forward slightly, and then bring it back. So this one is a hip flexor stretch. As I'm doing this one, I wanna make sure I'm sucking my belly button in and up so that I can actually get a good stretch there, and I'm not just getting over exaggeration of my low back, right? I'm sucking my belly button in as I come forward and reach up. All right, now same knee down. I'm just changing directions. Now I'm gonna reach over the head, still keep that belly button in and up. This one you're gonna feel more side of the body and front of the hip. So I'm here, I'm shooting my hips this way as I reach over. And again, if you have knee problems here, right, you would double or triple up the mat, or even throw this rolled up towel here, boom, just like that. Make it feel nice and comfortable while we're stretching out all those other muscles. All right, boom. Now we're just gonna get the other side. So we're here, toes tucked underneath. I'm here, I'm going up. Suck the belly button in. Really suck the belly button in so we get a stretch of those lower abs while you're doing this. There it is. All right, then we're gonna go to here. Same leg, but we're reaching over the top of the head. Suck the belly button in, reach. My hips are going this way, my arms going that way. Belly button in, reach. Belly button in, reach. This also shows you a lot about your body. Like for me, where I tend to get the tightest is like lower abs, because I have a tendency to arch my back in compensation for a lot of different things. So I'm working on that. But I've changed it dramatically, and just with little things like this and things that we're doing for the knees start to go all these other places. So last thing that we're gonna do is for the feet, right? We're tucking in the toes and sitting down, right? Some people are gonna come down and are gonna get here, and it's gonna feel like your knees are gonna explode, right? What you can do is pop the hands down so you can still get a stretch of the toes, but it doesn't feel like anything's gonna rip, tear, or break, right? So we're here, we're just going in and out of this position. If you got that one, you're here, just going like that. If you can, which some people can, you can just go back to here. You can come all the way down. Try to keep the toes on the ground.
then come back up to the top, right? You can be in any of these levels. There's nothing wrong with either level. Like, there's nothing wrong with being here if you can do it with keeping your feet down and not overarching in your low back, then cool. If you're here, cool. If you're somewhere over here, cool. You have somewhere or something to improve on. Next one, we're gonna go with the tops of the feet down. Similar thing, we're sitting down, right? So you can sit down this way, you can support yourself this way, right? Same deal, you might feel it in the knees, but this is to open up the ankles, right? So if those ankles are tight in the front, it's most definitely going to start making you feel it in the knees, just because the ankles can't support the work that you're doing, right? And also, you can go further than this in this fashion, but you get the point. We're just keeping a little bit of movement, and after this, you're done, right? There it is, nice and simple, very easy, simple movements. I spent a while explaining the stuff, but after you do it a couple of times, obviously you don't need the explaining and you can just kind of go through this stuff. I try to spend anywhere from 30 seconds to 2 minutes on each thing. Like if you have time, do 30 seconds on everything, cool. You got the extra time, spend 2 minutes on everything, cool. The goal is to do it consistently enough so that your body starts to change. You don't just want to use it as damage control. A lot of people just ask me like, hey, you know, my knees are hurting, what can I do now? And I help them fix their needs now, right? Easy to do, but what's the point if it's just going to go back in a week because you don't do the maintenance? Like, it's going to start to get annoying, and it's going to get to the point where you're going to say, forget it, why even bother? When you could have just been doing a little bit each day, just a little bit each day, and knees feel great, back feels great, hips feel great all the time, just because you're keeping constant movement and you're varying up the movement and really adding and introducing some joint health to your life. That's basically what I'm helping you do, is some joint health, and everything will start to feel better. You don't have to do this all the time. You know, you should be able to take some days off of not doing it, but for the most part, you need to be doing it more often than not so that you can now just go freely. I've done this stuff so much now that I don't have to do it. I haven't done this specific routine in years. I give this to people all the time, and it helps them out all the time. But I haven't specifically done it in years because I put in that kind of work, and it's still going. I don't do regular stretching. I do movement for sure, but regular stretching, I'm pretty flexible now, so I don't need to do that. And I haven't stretched in 3, 4, 5 years. Like, I do some stretching, but like, you know, 4 times, 5 times a year, like that's it. But the rest of it is preparing my nervous system, preparing my fascial system to be able to just be expansive. And that's what I was helping you do, prepare your nervous system, your fascial system, your muscles, your ligaments, your tendons, to actually handle the load that you're giving it. So that's it. Peace. I hope this was very helpful for people. And again, this is meant to be used over and over and over again. Or if you just take a few exercises from it and do it, like, that's going to be totally better than doing nothing. Peace.